50 years since the Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974 was passed, which ended women needing a male co-signer on loans and credit cards, if you can even imagine that. And yet today, women are still facing discrimination from financial institutions. Our guest is the founder of a fintech platform that is empowering women to own their financial future while transforming how financial institutions are serving women. Woohoo! It's Fab Female Founder Friday on the Start of Life Live Show, everyone. Let's glow! Hello and welcome to the Start of Life Live Show. I'm your host, Andy Lyons, 4 times founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I have firsthand intimate knowledge of what you founders are facing every single day. The high levels of uncertainty, those moments of pure joy that where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. And then those other moments where you're feeling, oh no, what happened now, right? It's the popping the champagne one moment and crying into it the next. That's the beauty of the founder journey and the startup life, right? And I have to say, I'm so grateful that you carved out time to tune in and grab some gems from this delicious conversation today, because you will up your founder game. And as you do better as a founder, your business will do better, right? All right. So yoo-hoo to all the live viewers tuning in today. We're so grateful that you're here live with us. And my wonderful replay viewers and podcast listeners, it's so delicious that you carved out time to tune in and join us in a replay version of the show. You will love this conversation, and I know you're going to get some wonderful gems to help you on your founder journey. So if you are tuning in from the YouTube channel and you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button and hit that bell icon. Thank you for sharing your love that way. And if you'd like to receive an alert whenever I post a new show on the Start of Life Live Show, please join our meetup group. This way you'll get an in-depth background about who is the guest for that show and get more information on how you and your business could be served by tuning in. I have just a few Andelicious announcements I want to make here. Arlen's Academy, if you haven't joined it, please hop on over. She has tons of free courses. Really, when she says everything you need to know about launching a successful business, it's all in one place. You know, she's the author of my favorite book, It's About Damn Time. And she is the founder of Backstage Capital. So she's a favorite. And if you are raising funds and would like to be doing a better job at it, please go check out Scroobius.com. They help not only prepare you to raise money, they help you prepare a video pitch deck. Because, you know, investors invest in you founders. So it's as often as possible, it's important that you bring the face of who you be to investors' attention. And of course, I just wanted you to know that I'm sending out a big founder hug for everybody today. Please remember that this show is for you to help you grow. If you have an ask, a question, or you want to amplify your founder experience in your business, please, this is all you have to do. Pop your business name, one-liner, and URL into the comment section, and I will bring it up, and my guest and I will go, look at you, you're amazing. And of course, your questions are so important, and your comments, because they add so much value to the conversation that we're having today. For example, we want to just say hi to our wonderful, fabulous community manager right here. It's Ruth, and she is the one who makes sure everybody feels welcome and engaged during the conversation. So I'm so happy to see you, Ruth. Mwah. All right, so let me move right along here and introduce our phenomenal guest, because you are going to love this woman. You're going to love her energy, and you're going to love how she is serving women in the world. It's the one and only Lacy Garcia. And she is the founder and CEO of Willow, a fintech and guidance platform that empowers women to own their financial future while transforming how financial institutions serve women. And with 2 decades in the financial sector as a private banker and marketer in financial services, Lacy deeply understands the challenges of meeting the needs of women clients and the financial challenges women face at every stage of their lives. Oh my gosh, let's bring her into the room. Welcome to the show, Lacy Garcia.
Hi, Andy. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here. And can we do a quick shout out to Tony Clemendor? Because he's the one who introduced us. Folks, Tony is a phenomenal mentor to founders. He's a seasoned founder himself. He's out in Silicon Valley. And, here Lacy is right down the street from me, but it took Tony over on the West Coast to introduce us. How cool is that, Lacy?
Amazing. Yeah. And Tony is an incredible founder coach, by the way, if anyone's looking for one.
Oh, yeah. Yes. In fact, I'll put Tony's contact information into the show notes for anybody who wants to zoom over and pick that information up and go kick Tony's tires. That's so wonderful. I want to say a quick hello. This is our weekly fan. And I'm telling you, Brent from Ottawa, he is a diverse person, a loyal fan, and he always reminds us that to be inclusive means including diverse folks, disabled folks, neurodivergent folks. They bring a whole unique and wonderful voice to your organization. Remember that as you onboard talent. So thank you so much, Brent, for that. So Lacy, where I love to start with folks who are on the show is finding out, why did you leave the guaranteed paycheck behind, right? I mean, there you were a couple decades into the financial sector, you were winning, and all of a sudden you decided to launch a business. What happened? And also, did you have role models in your life, or were you the one who was hustling products in 3rd grade? What happened? Please tell us.
Well, Andy, it's a great question, and I came to the period of time where I made the decision to launch this business as somebody who was very much sort of later in their career, young child, single mother. And I was weighing whether or not I jumped off a cliff or not, So long story short was that I did have incredible mentors, former colleagues who are co-founders with me with Willow, and a lot of kind of mentorship and guidance and support of folks who really encouraged me to do this. They knew that this was my passion. They believed, quite frankly, probably more in what I could accomplish than I did in my, kind of darkest hours. And they really kind of encouraged me to do it. But, it definitely is risky and is hard, right? Because we see a lot of founders when they're younger, and you're sort of used to that point, eating ramen.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lacy. Go ahead.
Just when you're supporting a family and you have bills and mortgages and things, it can be a little bit more daunting.
Absolutely, you have so much more to risk, including if you've been at it for 20 years. You've got a 401k, you have capital that you've invested, and so you have more responsibilities and more to lose. And hello. A reputation. I mean, what reputation does a 23-year-old or even a 28-year-old have yet, right? But, so it is very risky. And why is it that you are so lit up about this topic? And founders, I bring this up because you need to be lit up about the problem you are solving. Because that'll get you out of bed every day in circumstances that you really want to stay under the covers. But also it's part of bringing your light to the world. So Lacy, what is it about the financial industry and helping women specifically that lights you up?
Well, because I've lived this journey and this experience, I'm effectively our first client, both from a former advisor perspective and then a woman who has experienced most of the life events that we talk about or we focus on at Willow, everything from kind of unexpectedly becoming the sole provider for my family, being someone who hadn't taken the control over the finances despite having education background, but, sort of abdicated control, which we still see happening. I think 56% of, affluent millennial couples, the woman might be a doctor or lawyer, but she's not involved in the family finances. So I had kind of lived that experience. And then I really had a wake up call where I went through sort of everything from fertility challenges to then I got divorced and really had that period. And I had been an advisor, right? I had been within the industry working with clients, really got to see sort of inside out. I was a private banker, so had really deep and meaningful connections with my women clients. I was able to kind of give them personalized guidance and coaching, but then I myself was not getting access to that, right? So therefore, I think that the takeaway here is that I felt this pain. I was able to solve this problem for myself, and then I wanted to solve this problem for other women. So this deep-seated passion,
sure,
what gets me up, right? It keeps me going.
And it's an ideal combination. You have what we call the perfect or ideal founder market fit, right? Lacy has a strong background in finance, and she launched a financial technology, or as we like to call it in the industry, a fintech business. Mm-hmm. And so that's wonderful. And it really does help when you go to raise money, when you have that nice product market founder fit. Don't let it stop you. All 4 of my businesses, I had 0 founder market fit, but I had to do some fancy footwork though to keep the investors happy.
But and Andy, if I can I jump in with one quick thing too, because I've seen this so often firsthand, is that, women, we need to feel that we are experts, that we hit 100% in order to call ourselves an expert. But oftentimes others, do a 2-week cliff notes at a time, and then they're experts. So I wouldn't discourage anybody from jumping into something that they can wrap their heads around and really kind of understand and then bring to life, based on that.
Outstanding advice. And seriously, folks, it's what you're lit up about. And if you're in love with the problem, remember that, not your groovy solution, the problem, that is what's going to get you through this. And Lacy, clearly you are. And you and I have both seen that wonderful movie called Savvy. Yes. And I have to tell you, folks, if you can catch that wherever it is, Savvy focused on so many women, professional, well-educated, not educated, streetwise, whatever, that were under the age of 40, who were not managing so many aspects of their money. You might say, okay, older generation, I understand indoctrination, but to see 30-year-olds like, oh yeah, I think I got a 401k, or I think I've got this, or my husband, or my boyfriend, or my husband, or whatever takes care of that. Why is this such a problem for women, Lacy?
So quickly on Savvy, by the way, if you haven't seen it, join us next Wednesday for the virtual premiere of Savvy on Gather. And I can send around information and make sure.
Send a link. Yeah.
Send a link, Andy, that you have that. And I will be doing a live Q&A with Robin Hauser, who's the director, producer of Savvy, who lived this experience. So she was a very well-educated, affluent, so she started her career in financial services, was the daughter of an investment banker, I believe, so knew this, was very savvy. And then she got married. In 20 years of marriage, she's like,
whatever.
Yeah, exactly, which is not uncommon. And then she got divorced, and she had this wake-up call. And she's always been a cause-driven, kind of movie producer, and she lived this experience, right? And so it is an amazing movie, and it is, to your point, like, why are women not taking control? I think part of it, right, for many of us, it's just, there's our backgrounds and our kind of cultural expectations, right? And I'm the daughter of, my father's Cuban, right? And there's some kind of traditional sort of stereotypes and expectations.
That's right.
With that, right? And I think that also, I know when I'm older now, right? Now we see, which is awesome, so many girls who are in STEM and, the maths and sciences, but, I decided I wasn't good at math. right? And I was like, that's not me. I can't do math, right?
Unless you're at the store and you see the 25% off, and then you got that math nailed.
Well, this is the thing, right? So, and the truth of the matter is that women are actually, the majority of women are running the household finances. They account for, 80% of all purchasing power. They're making the decisions around healthcare. They're making the they're feeling inflation right now because they're the ones who are managing the household budget and, and taking care of the groceries and all the things that have skyrocketed, right? But then there's this mental block, and obviously it's not all women for sure, but it's the majority. Like only 19% of women feel financially prepared to retire. So like the thing is, if you feel that way, there's no shame. You are not alone, and it is, and so, but it's, we are fixing it. We are trying to address it and empower and fix it, but there should be no stigma around it. And we need to talk about it, and we need to kind of, address it and make sure that we are empowered and that we are financially independent and free moving forward.
And that's a perfect segue into talking about your incredible new platform and talk about how your lived experience has prepared you beautifully and ideally and uniquely for this opportunity. So let's chat first a little bit about how you conceptualize, because you can have this, I want to, save the world this way. And folks, remember, many things have been done before, but not by you and not for us. So there's plenty of room for you in the marketplace. So when you went to go solve this problem, you were like, okay, I'm thinking about, I want to educate women. I want them to, remove the stigma and any shame they may have around not knowing numbers, and just make them feel really welcome and ready to be coached to go to the next level and manage whatever's going on in their life, whether it's the rows of divorce or widowhood, but also the elation, the joyful moments of life, new child, baby, marriage, or, vacations, whatever. But you had to figure out the MVP, your minimum viable product. And how did that happen?
Takes a lot of research, right? And talking to a lot of people, and then a lot of iteration, and sometimes we call it learning, failing, pivoting kind of along the way. But I would say, we had identified that there was this tremendous market opportunity, and that our mission originally was really that we wanted to financially empower women, which we really evolved into. We are a B2B2C platform. We do, women can sign up directly. And we've also expanded beyond just women to underrepresented groups, and really helping people through these life events or life journeys, such as divorce, widowhood. But we wanted to financially empower women. We are now really transforming the way that financial services empowers women. But I think you start with, your business plan and making sure that market opportunity is big enough, and that as you go through and kind of figure out what your SAM is and your SOM is, that there's a big enough opportunity that you've done.
That's right.
We talked to hundreds and thousands of women, of coaches, coaches and advisors, right? So we used third-party research, we used firsthand data, right? And we did a lot of testing. And one of the things is that every step along the way, you need to make sure that what you're delivering is what your consumers, your clients are demanding, right? And what they want. So that kind of in simplest form, because I think a lot of times people have a wonderful idea and it's amazing, and they go, they spend all this time and energy and they develop it, and then they take it to market, and there's
crickets. There's crickets. And folks, just so you know, you can even get all this great data and then take something to market and still have crickets. But the point is what Lacy and her team did. And how long of a period, Lacy, did you?
Yeah, so really, it's been over 3 years.
But for that research, MVP, developing the value proposition.
I think that there was, I think that there was unofficially kind of, months, years, a year plus, but really a year, I'd say.
Yeah, that's about right. That tends to be
Yeah.
standard. Some people can do it faster because they're heavily in the marketplace already. But most
Well,
of
and
these
we were also working other jobs at the time. You know what I'm saying? We were
side hustle. Let's hear it for the side hustles.
Side hustle, right?
Come on. Adam Grant says side hustles have a 32% greater chance of winning and lasting. So side hustles are for real. But that's the perfect time to be doing it. So you can still keep a roof over your head, food in everybody's tummy, and nail down what are the salient points, what is going to wow your customer and make them happy and solve that problem in a way that they're going to slap that credit card down. So I love that you did that and you got the valuable information, but then you had to come to an understanding too. Well, how is that user experience going to be, right?
Right.
And what did you look at competitors in the market? Like, how did you know to make your user experience different?
Definitely. It's always important to know your competitors, we get inspiration and ideas from everybody, right? I think a lot of the best companies out there weren't necessarily something new. They were just an improvement, right? Or
right.
On something else. So definitely got to know our competitors, and I would say actually for us, to be quite frank, like one of the biggest challenges we faced was we actually got the product right in the very beginning. Believe it or not.
Can I just go, really? Hold on.
But it took us a while to figure out how to properly, despite having a marketing sales, how to really kind of the compelling kind of why that gets. We were also sort of creating a little bit of a new category, which also can be challenging, especially in something like the financial services sector. But I think that was, because you might have the right product, but you're not positioning it, right. You're not explaining it, you're not marketing it the right way.
Right. Well, first of all, we have to congratulate you on proving that value prop. That's huge. So, you launched the product, but this is a very important conversation, founders, because you have to find your distribution channel and you have to find the language with which your ideal customer speaks. And I'm going to pull up one of my favorite diagrams. Folks, I can happily send this to you, but this is the customer persona exercise. So we're not just talking demographics here. You want to go deep into who your ideal customer is and what motivates them. What are their behaviors? What are their expectations? So if anybody would like this, just ping me, Andy at Andy Lyons, and I'll send it your way. But this is what Lacy and her team had to do. But Lacy, before we go into distribution and how you reach customers, is your co-founder a tech person? Did you have to outsource technology? How does that work?
Well, I'm incredibly lucky. My co-founders are tech kind of geniuses, serial entrepreneurs, super amazing rock stars. So Yvonne Mitrovic, who many folks who are on this will probably know who Yvonne is, who I had the good fortune of actually working with years ago at where.com, which was acquired by what was PayPal, which was owned by eBay at the time.
That's right.
But Yvonne, who is just as impressive a human being as he is a leader kind of in the technology space, and went on, he ran data science for PayPal. And then afterwards, he's been a complete advocate and, sponsor and gotten in the trenches with so many startups. I think, he helped Drizzly in the early days to kind of build their initial platform. Anyway, and Yvonne, I think, intended to kind of more advise us, and he's ended up really fully on the team, and he's been amazing.
Well, gee, I wonder why, Lacy, folks. This is your job as a founder, to make this opportunity so compelling and delicious that someone who might not have done this before would be like, I can't help myself. I have to be involved.
And then Jason Aronson, who not only is a data science, a quant, a computer scientist, a chartered financial analyst, really, so the two of them have built the front end and the back end of this platform and lived, eat, and breathe it. Jason stays up all night coding, and he really so we've been incredibly lucky because we have been able to build kind of an enterprise, very sophisticated platform at a fraction of the cost due to having these seasoned, experienced folks and other folks who are on our team who kind of Yvonne and I had worked with years ago as well. But that's a big challenge for a lot of founders, and the technology costs and so I have to say that we've been incredibly fortunate because of them. So I think become good friends with them.
What a great example though, because you really did have to take your passion for this problem and turn it into something that compelled people to want to get involved and bring their brilliance to the experience and have that passion for the problem too. So founders, I know it's not easy, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't be a founder of a tech platform and not ever have any tech background at all. You can. It just means you got to go a little extra hard on the storytelling and passion to bring on co-founders who will help you, or find that ideal offshore product dev team, which is not easy. Oh my gosh. So what happened when you brought the product to market? What was some of the feedback that your customers gave you that helped you further enhance what you do? And then let's talk about the customer journey. After you talk about that, the customer journey on Willow.
So we first of all, perfect timing. We started the company right before COVID and then launched, in July of 2020. And we first went direct to consumers to validate, the coaching platform, the consumer experience. And we went out to everyone we knew, like friends and family, but we did, early consumer acquisition, and the great news was that we had really good experience and feedback on kind of the user experience. We've obviously innovated and improved, which you do on kind of the user experience from a look and feel and from a technology and a feature perspective. But at the core, the coaches and the content got rave reviews, right? We were like, above 90 NPS in the beginning. And over time, that's gone down just like mid 80s from a consumer experience, which is still amazing. And so we were able to kind of to show that the core product, the demand was there. And we had pretty good consumer acquisition numbers, like considering everything was so crazy expensive. At that time, it was like CPA's all-time high, but they weren't. What's a good customer acquisition number? Well, what's crazy, just so you know, Andy, I was looking back at the data because we're doing some new campaigns, and back then things were through the roof. Like now it's like under $1, and back then it was up at $5. I mean, it was amazing. It was really. Is that for advertising? Yeah, so that was for doing advertising on Facebook. And on, I guess back then you were really barely doing advertising on LinkedIn. I mean, on Instagram, but it was more like Facebook and some Google, Google search. But if anyone who's in this space remembers, like they were through the roof, right? So we were getting good data, like good enough data to encourage you to go, but like not necessarily. We were like, this is going to be way too expensive. We had what we needed, and that's where we went direct. We're going B2B. And when you were testing with folks, this was a piece of advice a prior guest who helped co-found ClearCo, a financial institution that lends money to founders. He said, you got to get their credit card, even in it's free stage. Were you able to do that? What are your thoughts about that? So we got credit cards. I mean, all the it's free. Once we launched, we charged. So it's like we did a lot of free, and you have to do a lot of free, by the way. You continue to do it. As we've iterated, we brought in new features, we've given it away, but no, we made sure that people were willing to pay for this, and that integration was set up, right? Definitely. Okay. Well, I have to take a minute, folks, because one of our favorite inners
the wonderful Mia Voss, host of many things, but host of the podcast Shit We Do Not Talk About.
I love it.
shitwedon'ttalkabout.com. Go find it everywhere you listen to podcasts. Mia is amazing. And Mia, you're tuning in from the beach today. How honored are Lacy and I that you're here? Come on. And you said this a little while back, but she says, that's my tagline. Women are making most of the buying decisions. 100%.
It's true.
100%.
And I want to just, and Mia, and then, 80 to 90% of all women will be solely responsible for their financial decisions and their household's financial decisions at some point in their lives, right? Yeah. And that happens often suddenly or unexpectedly. So that's why I'm with you. We need to talk about this.
Right. We got to make it happen. So let's talk a little bit about the customer journey, because you have this wonderful wheel here called the wellness wheel. Let's talk a little bit about this. What does this mean?
Yeah, so we have at the top level, which is on here, but we have we call it the Willow 5A model. And that is just at highest level. Everyone should be kind of aware is the first A, of how much their life costs. They should aspire. They should write down their goals. They should then act. So, getting the right information, getting the right, plans in place, right? If you want to save money, actually taking the steps to do that, right? Following that 50, 30, 20, or whatever that might be. Then the next one is a really critical one, is adapt, because we know that the majority of the time things don't go the way that we expect them to. So you need that emergency fund, by the way, that rainy day fund, or I like to call it the CYA fund.
Yes.
Because we, things are going to come up unexpectedly, or good things are going to come up, but you need to have that savings in place. And then the final one, that we just don't do, and which is why I think people are depressed and anxious and just feel badly about themselves. We don't take the time to appreciate. Appreciate everything that you do know. And instead of looking at it here's all the things I haven't done, give yourself a pat on the back about the things that you have done. And the fact that you're even willing to sit down and try to have a heart to heart and straight conversation with yourself about your finances is way to go, because we know that does not sound like a fun idea. But that's the first step, right?
Oh my gosh. I want to stop on that for a second, folks. This is what happens. I believe this is the biggest chokehold for so many folks on not saving money, not putting away even $1, because they're why bother? It's too late. It's too this, I'm not good enough. Just all of this. You have to stop and appreciate, A, that you got up today, but B, even if it's just $1 that you put into a fishbowl, for crying out loud, that is a start, and it starts to train your brain for more financial wealth gathering. Yeah. So the appreciation part, I love. And was there a final step in there?
No, that's the 5 A's. But then within that is we talk about, that you save, you share, and you spend, right? And then also we invest, but we educate about investments, but that's why we're partnering with advisors. Yeah. We work with advisors who then can help you to actually, recommend stocks or certain products. We are coaching and educating. And
I love this. I want to pull up this slide, because this will take, you can use this to explain to folks. They set up their dashboard on Willow.
Yes. Yeah, so this is so if you go to trustwillow.com and you create an account, which you're able to do for free, and then you can go in the Learning Center tab. You can go. We have a whole library of articles, of videos, of online courses. So, for instance, if you're considering getting divorced or you're in the divorce process, so we have a series of short videos and guidebooks and worksheets and all the information that I wish I'd had. I'm now divorced, and I wrote this with some lawyers and some other former financial advisors who this is everything we wish we had known, right? And I say, go ahead. This is the type of thing that you need to do before you go ahead and you need lawyers, and lawyers are great, but don't start paying fees until you know what it is you're getting into, right? Educate yourself. And this is the type of thing, there are resources. I found it when I was getting divorced that there were online resources, but half of them didn't feel relevant to me. So that's why we've curated and done, and you come in and we ask you what your life journey is, or do you want career advice with your finances? Are you getting divorced? Are you thinking about getting married? Like, should you get a prenup, right? So you can come in through those life journey categories. Then you come into this kind of, you're learning your page where you can see Candace McGarvey's my coach, and she's amazing, and works with women who are divorced, who are widowed. Is like she was like the first in the like trailblazer as a financial coach for women.
Oh my gosh, that's
amazing!
Yay! Yay!
We have this growing network of exceptionally talented, primarily women, though we do have a couple men, coaches across the country, and coaches who are trying to join from, across the globe, which is fantastic. And they are, for the most part, they were in financial services. They were advisors, they were bankers, they were CPAs, but they wanted to pursue a more purposeful, career. They had families, they needed flexibility, right? So they've went and pursued their own certifications around coaching and kind of set up their own businesses and their own practices. And there are so many of these talented kind of women, diverse people. There's some men who are doing it who are excellent.
And so they're charging their regular fee. They're just using your platform as a way
they're using our platform, and we are paying them, but I know that we pay more than other coaching networks. So
cool.
because they deserve it. Well, they deserve it. And we're also, this is they're obviously trying to get clients and financial, and consumers are trying to find vetted coaches. And if financial institutions want to bring this in, they want to know that they're fully vetted, that they're licensed, that they've got their certification. That they know that they're going to be able to trust them, right?
And this is so important. When you're in the financial world, folks, you have practically handcuffs on you on how you move in the social world. Okay. So me and most people, we're just like flapping away, doing whatever. But if you're in the financial world, you've got constraints because of the government regulation in that world. So I love that you're bringing on vetted financial coaches, not just like The Secret. I see it, I'm going to believe it. These are folks who are going to help you really strategize and and start pulling together the owning of your financial future, the stepping into your role as the authority of your financial future. It is so important what you're doing here. I also want to celebrate the fact that, okay, everybody, look at this. Oh my gosh, Lacy was on the Today Show. Lacy, how did you get on the Today Show?
Well, I had the good fortune of being connected into one of the producers. And this is the type of thing too, by the way, for anybody who's early stage founder, like we're not working with a PR agency. We have some amazing folks who are PR and marketing experts who've like leaned in, volunteered their time, but you have to be scrappy and you have to believe that you can get things. So, I just sent her a pitch, quite frankly, and said, and so I would say, you have to be in the game in order to win. So think big and shoot for the fences, right? And so if you believe, what, I'd be a great fit on the Today Show, this is something that's important to their audience, go ahead and pitch your idea. Go for it, because you'll never get what you don't ask for starters. And, the odds are that if you have a compelling product, a compelling story, and it would resonate with their audience, then you're going to end up, maybe it's not the Today Show, but, there are lots of other media outlets who are looking for great products and services
and content.
Exactly. So I think it's, anyway, so that's my, no. And I obviously, and I think that, so that's all I would say.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to give you a round of applause for that outstanding founder journey advice. I hope you captured, I really probably should have captured it better myself, or stitched that on a pillow moment, but I'll get another one out of Stacy as well. But that was a founder journey moment, because founders, you are the owners of your business. You have to be media prepared, and you have to open your mouth and get out there and say, why not me? Okay. And anything
Andy,
else?
you're doing an amazing job of championing that and inspiring and kind of mentoring founders. And it is so, so critical.
It
So
really is.
critical.
And, anybody feel free to come practice with me anytime. And especially the newbie founders out there. I'm happy to help you be more media prepared and be ready to direct the conversation, because I am confident that as Lacy was talking to all of these folks here at the Today Show, the co-hosts, she was leading the conversation. She was making sure that her points were being made during that. So way to go, Lacy. So I just want to bring up one more thing too on the dashboard. So this is a journey. You're there to help them get to their goals. And then when they've reached those goals, let's get to the next ones, right?
Yes, it very much so. And I mean, the idea here is that sometimes we just need to be able to check in and make sure we're on track, right? And so
right. Accountability.
We have a quick question, right? Like you might have a question. You can go Google for 20 minutes and read 3 articles and see whether or not any of them are relevant to you, or come on and know that if you're a woman or identify as LGBTQ plus, or that we will have content most likely that's for your specific question, at least written from that point of view, and like
excellent,
to kind of take into the emotional and some of the other pieces of it. But maybe you just needed an answer. Maybe you just needed to text with your coach, or I know that I encourage everybody to do at least 1 or 2 sessions with a coach, because it is like, I hear all the time, wow, that was transformative and like life-changing. And I was kind of like, really? And in 45 minutes, really? And they're like, I now actually feel like I know how to get my finances aligned with my values, or wow, I felt so overwhelmed, but now I feel like I was able to break, my coach helped me break it down.
Especially if someone's been doing that for you your whole life, and you have a block around doing it yourself. But also, if you're passionate about serving an organization, you want to be able to donate money to that organization, you've got to compile some of that money in order to make a difference in or you want to do a side hustle, things like that. You can tell your coach, look, I have plans to sort of launch my own business, not, in this category over here. Okay, let's plan for that. And here's how we do it. So I just love everything you're doing, especially because it's for women, by women, about women. And did you have to raise money for your platform?
We did. We have raised money. We have raised money, primarily from like angels. And, that I have to say, if anyone's a founder, feel free to reach out to me. You have to network. You have to leverage your network. You have to ask, what is the latest statistics on how many no's you get? It feels like 95% of them are no's.
Absolutely. Right? Pretty close to 100.
Yeah. And we know, like yesterday I was actually, the Tory Burch Foundation, she's got an amazing program, their fellows program. I'm mentoring in the fellows program. I know that I'm actually just become part of the Capital Network's female fellows founder, fellowship, which I'm super excited about.
Okay. Yes.
You help with
Congratulations, that one. Lacy.
Yeah. But don't be afraid to reach out. Like, I mean, anybody can reach out to me, and we have to, I wrote an op-ed about how we have, one of the challenges and why women don't get as much venture funding, right? Or women founders. Part of it is that, the VCs, I think still 90% are men. But it's also because we're not as well networked, right? But I think some of that is because we could be, but we're like afraid, right? Or not afraid, not saying people are afraid, but they just don't feel as comfortable, or like, but my thing is just go for it, ask, reach out, send a LinkedIn message, and honestly, and like, and if you have this compelling product, service, people respect you, people know you, they're going to want to support you. Like they are, like, it's not, don't feel badly asking, right? Because they're like, well, this is really valuable and you're helping people, or this is compelling, So I encourage people on that front. I also want to quickly, Andy, just give a shout out to, because we are primarily partnering with leading financial institutions, because I think this is a really important step here, because I know we wanted to create systemic change and influence. I think that the financial services industry is really kind of trying to evolve and to understand that women are first of all going to be controlling $30 trillion in this intergenerational like wealth transfers that are happening by 2030, right? And so the face of the clients have really changed, right? And women are, are looking for more of a connection. They're looking for advice that's really relevant to their day-to-day life. So like all the things we sort of embody and help with at Willow. But I also have to give a shout out to some of the because some of the institutions who are really trying to evolve, because what was important for us was that, a lot of people were doing really great marketing, but then the service delivery, that's where they fell out, and the products or the services. And so what was really important from my perspective, my team's perspective, is we wanted to give them a solution that wouldn't just, we do the marketing, make that connection, but then make sure that they are getting a higher level of service and their needs are getting met, right? And so, we've been working with a great, institutions, and, one that I know I can talk about is BlackRock, and they are launching a whole suite of new products, which are
wonderful news.
Space, right? And they've been a great proponent of this. And, we're talking right now, I'm actually, having meetings this afternoon with another big financial institution. And
this is really beautiful. And the reason is because, as Lacy said in the beginning, Willow is a B2B to C play.
Yeah.
And in order to dissolve the systemic discrimination women face, just like, when you go get your car fixed, I swear to God, it's the same thing when you go into a financial services. I'm a former banker, so I know this to be true. The onboarding process feels all warm and delicious and yummy, but then they start delivering. You're like, say what? It's not in your language. And so what you're doing is such a huge benefit for the institutions, for the financial institutions who do want to. They have a section that really wants to serve this market, but you're right. You have made it easy. And I want you founders to take this in what Lacy has done, because this is another way you make your business grow, is to bring in those big B2B players that want what you have, that they can then, yet you can leverage with their experience and their resources then to help your business grow and flow. And you've done the hard work. No way could they be that innovative. They're too big. All right. Innovation is very hard when you're that big. So they look outside for businesses like yours who have innovated, who have, like yours, Lacy's with Willow, have their thumb on the pulse of this area of a problem that needs to be solved. So I'm so happy for you. Yay. So Lacy, a quick question. What does success look like for you? And I like to ask this question because so often founders are using the measuring tape of someone else's success, what they think success looks like. And I want founders to be really clear that this is your journey. This is your business. You need to be measuring success that's right for you. What does success look like for you, Lacy Garcia?
Well, our mission, which is really my mission, is to transform the way that financial services are serving women and really everybody, but starting with women. And we wanted to create a win-win-win. We want to provide better service and empowerment to the end client, to the consumer, to the woman. There's this amazing network of women who've left financial services full time, but who are so talented and incredible, and they want them to be able to be connected to these big players like on their own terms, right? And for those institutions who want to do a better job, to be able to do it, to get, access to this top tier, amazing, primarily women kind of talented. And right now only 18% of advisors are women, right? So like getting more back in the industry kind of on their own terms, like in this new paradigm of hybrid and flexible, but also, in the big players who are, who you need to work with and who honestly can give you good products and good services, just helping them to do a better job. So I feel like we're on our way. We're making some great traction. We're so excited about our momentum and success, right? I find, I'll say one thing is that I always, every day, I try to focus on gratitude and finding joy in the little things, right? Yes. And so kind of, I obviously, for Willow to grow huge and really kind of, help to transform the financial services industry and for all those players to win, right? But also, I think that kind of living who you are and appreciation along the way, that for me, and getting to have laughs with my 8-year-old son and having fun, not everyone having to be stressed out, right? Those are some of the small wins on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, Lacy, that is so wonderful. And I know you have to fly. One last question about what is a mindset hack? Because that sounds like a lot like a mindset hack, which is, find the appreciation and joy every day, even if it's just one thing. But what else do you do? Because I know every founder, you feel inadequate. Lacy, what do you do to help shift?
Yeah, no, it's all about perspective, right? I think you have to, you can look at yourself through one lens and all you see is failure and everything you did wrong. And actually, I have to share something that I used to be. I think I stopped being obsessed with being perfect, right? My life blew up quite publicly. And, and that's why I created this company, so other women don't have to suffer. Like, I went through a divorce and this whole financial struggle and journey, and I want other women not to have to suffer. But I also realized along the way that if I try to be perfect, then I get about 1/10 of what I need to get done out the door, right? But whereas if you're just constantly moving and making things happen, it's going to be good enough, right? Yes. And I think that's something, like, sometimes I'll look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, these emails have typos, right? Like, but see, email with a typo. But the deal still went through, right?
And that's the stitch it on a pillow moment, everybody. Good enough is good enough. Right? Oh, Stacey,
pat on the back.
Lacy, yeah, go ahead.
You're amazing, by the way. Thank you for what you are doing and what you are doing for diverse founders. Like, we need more of you in this world. And
thank you.
I love your energy and everything you are doing. And thank you so much for this amazing opportunity.
Well, you're kidding. For me to be able to showcase and celebrate you and the phenomenal work you're doing in the world. I feel this way about all my founders that I get to interview here on the Startup Life Live show, but I can't wait to come down there and give you a big hug in person. Thank you so much for carving out time to share your wonderful story and your wonderful business with us today. I know you have to fly, so I'm going to just pop you into the green room, and have a great rest of your day, my darling. Mwah. Okay, Lacy, bye. Oh my gosh, everyone. How much do we love Lacy and the incredible work that she's doing in the world. I have a quick little video because this is so important to share, okay, about Willow, because we as women need to support each other through all the different stages that we go through in life where it gets very hairy financially, and we see too much of it. And we see it at all ages. Okay, so let me just play this. It's just 30 seconds, not even.
And also educate yourself about what the process entails before you hire lawyers and start paying fees. I know that I'm divorced, and despite being a financial advisor, I needed guidance beyond my, financial and life guidance. And I created Willow because I didn't want other women to have to suffer the way that I did before I got a coach.
And then you
to that. So go check out Willow. All the links are in the show notes. I know that you just signing up for free is a wonderful first step, because we need to own our finances. We need to know our numbers and our money. And as a founder, I know that you're nailing it down for your business, but you have to do it for yourself as well. So I love what Lacy is doing, and be sure to connect with her on LinkedIn. I'll have all the links in the show notes. So it's time to share who's coming up on the show next. Hold on, I'm going to bring it all in for you. It's next Tuesday, June 7th at 12 p.m. ET. We are chatting with Hassan Riggs, and he's the founder of Smart Alto, and he is sharing how he built a platform that pre-qualifies leads and schedules appointments to help realtors get an ROI on their lead generation program. But I got to tell you, the other real genius that Hassan brings to the plate is that he has sold more than $100 million in products for global brands and startups. So he's also sharing how to get customers from that try to buy. And we all struggle with that, right, on the customer acquisition journey. Oh my gosh. So we're going to learn so much from Hassan. That's Tuesday, June 7th at 12 p.m. EST. Until then, it's this journey really requires you to step back and really, think about all the things that you bring to the plate. And one thing that Lacy shared that was so important was appreciate. Take a moment to really feel the appreciation of what you're doing, because here we go. This is one of my favorite A.A. Milne quotes, which is where she says, "Promise me you'll remember that you're braver than you believe and stronger than you seem. And oh yeah, as we say here in Boston, wicked smarter than you think." Okay, so until next time, be sure to hop on over and join the meetup group so you can always get an alert and RSVP whenever I post a new show with another fascinating founder who's in the trenches, just like you are, making it work. And until then, I'm wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Mwah, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers.